So welcome to day 3. If you can hear my voice, I'd like you to just indicate in the chat as we step into day 3. If you're still motivated, you still want to be with us, and you're glad to be here, tell us where you are dialing in from, and we will recognize you. I got married at 35 in 2015. I had been in Ghana for about 3 years. It's one of those things I wish I had done earlier. And you will remember that when we spoke about time on day 1, we said, we may have said this, and we did write it in our book, If I Were to Live Again, that if you're going to do something in your life and it is in your power to do it, you might as well do it as early as possible. Make your mistakes, recover, and proceed. No one is perfect, including you, right? So if you're looking for a perfect person, you might as well aspire to become a perfect person yourself. Your spouse is likely to change in many ways. So the photo you're looking at, or the photos you're looking at, are photos of my wife and I from 2016 to 2025 with a few years jump. Now, those changes, whether they are physical, mental, or spiritual, might involve you, right? They might involve you. And there is joy in participating in the changing phases of another human being. We're going to talk about this more after the break. So hang in there, invite someone, share the link, and introduce yourself. See you in a minute. Right. So, no one is perfect, and you may be responsible for the changes of another. There's a story that is told by Mike Murdoch. He says that he was at a wedding, or maybe it's fictitious, maybe it's hypothetical, but he's at a wedding, and the couple are there. They look very happy. They look very enthusiastic about their wedding. Then the man looks back into the crowd, and as they're marched through the aisle, a lot of ladies are there. Oh, I wish that was me. I wish that was me. And the man looks back and said, sweet freedom, freedom, sweet freedom. A lot of people consider singleness as freedom. The question becomes, freedom to do what? Freedom from what? I do agree that entering into a relationship takes great responsibility, right? When we assume that we can play games with the life of another person by thinking that our freedom means their bondage, or our freedom means intruding into their privacy or into their life, or changing their lives in significant ways, we are not being empathetic with them. So there's a loop there. Single people want to be free. Single people want to be married. Married people want to be free. Married people want to be single under different circumstances. There is no perfect state in life, and we make the best of our state by delivering on our purpose. And let me just tell you a bit about marriage, a little more about marriage. Now, you may have heard the story of the toothpaste, right? You may have heard the story of the toothpaste. Who has heard the story of the toothpaste? And please let me know in the chat. My apologies, I moved too quickly. Story of the toothpaste is some people like to press the toothpaste at the middle, some from the bottom. Now, if you're living with someone who likes the bottom and you like the middle, or someone who likes the middle and you like the bottom, you may have um, problems living with that person. If you're living with someone who wears slippers when he is in the house and you like to go bare feet, you have to deal with that. If you give birth to children, you have to deal with diapers. So all these are indicators of the reality of living with someone, not just looking at someone in the context of marriage. When you look at them on TV, they have a nice hairdo, but you have to live with them. You wake up and they are not having that nice hairdo. You have to take care of your children. School fees will show up. And at some point, you begin to ask yourselves, are there alternatives? Do I have options? And you may have seen this photo of someone who was exploring options, and he was exposed in his exploration at a concert publicly, cost him his job eventually. Solomon said, stealing water is sweet and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. It seems that is the case for some people. But I want to announce to you that sex is not equal to love. And there is something powerful about marriage. I'm very happy. Which is the nuance of responsibility, the nuance of responsibility, the nuance of commitment, not just cohesion, not just chemistry, but actual the commitment of marriage. And those are some of the things we wrote about in our book, Till Death. It's a commitment, what? Till death. As we proceed with our lives, we must make intentional choices. We must live with our choices, take responsibility for our choices, and ask ourselves repeatedly if we're making the right choice or the wrong choice. We must ask why. Why am I doing this? I'm going to pause here and we're going to have a quick introduction of our amazing guests very shortly. We're going to be talking to them about their amazing work. They have made certain choices and they have taken responsibility for their choices. And they're making certain levels of impact, which we launched this program to support them in. Before I proceed, let me recognize that Jocelyn Nigiri is here. Enoch Ajay says, we can hear you. And Nuruddin announced when we went live, we are live day 346. And if you're still out there, please do not hide yourself. Tell us where you're dialing in from. If you want, tell us what you do. Share with us what you do as we go on this conversation. Hello, Yetunde and Prosper. I'm going to let you see their faces before I give them a meaningful introduction. So let's do ladies first. How are you feeling today? How has the journey been with my Dream Connect? And yes, it's going to be really interesting. Yeah, hi Adam. Thank you for that. Okay, I think Yetunde looks a bit stuck, so let's go to Prosper. Just a quick introduction before I give you the honor of a grand introduction. Just give us a quick one, and how you're feeling today in this show. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. My name is Prosper Danafechi, and I want to first of all congratulate you for choosing to celebrate your birthday this way. It's such an honor to be here. It's a great work. I never thought of celebrating a birthday this way, but like I always say, strategists as you are, you're always ahead. God bless you. So I'm Prosper Danafechi, a life coach into youth development, and that is what I've been doing all this year. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Yetunde, once you're back, please do indicate, and we shall give you a befitting introduction as well. But while I am waiting for that, I'm going to just do a quick introduction myself, and I want to appreciate there we have 5 of us that have been promoting with 5 days to my birthday. My birthday is actually on October 6th, and we chose Yeah, we children. Now, I was saying that my five guests, we just we I want to appreciate their coming with this journey. Now, we started on day one talking about our book, If I Were to Live Again, talked about time, and we interviewed Heather and Enifume. On day two, we interviewed Nuruddin. We talked a little bit about If I Were to Live Again. And then today we started the talk on marriage with Till Death and Entangled. If you've not seen those books, I want to assure you that you will enjoy them. Incidentally, today I got delivery of the first set of our books. I'm very much tempted to unpack it. In fact, Ghanaian Customs said they have already unpacked it and repacked it. I was in my mind saying that they should get those X-ray systems. They've been around for like 40 years, so I'm sure they are somewhere in the world for them to check what's inside the box. That's by the way. So, but I'm going to unbox it tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So stay tuned with us, but I'm just going to keep it to one side. And I want to say that today, I've just talked a little bit about one of those books, but the main focus is our interview with Prosper and Yetunde Macaulay. To wit, Yetunde is a development enthusiast. He calls himself a development enthusiast, and 10 years on, 10 years on, she's been driving the vision of Connect, My Dream Connect in Nigeria. Every quarter or thereabout, she does these um, programs, stretches of programs to equip young people with skills relevant for the job market. And she does it consistently. She has one coming up in November, a hackathon, and we're going to talk about that today. She's just so focused on this, so committed to this. Prosper, on the other hand, is based in Accra, and he's just given a brief introduction of himself. We're going to ask him of his backstory to tell us how he got to this point. But the foundation, one of the amazing things of the foundation of generational thinkers is that it is essentially made up of very young people, like teenagers. And I was at one of the events where we talked about Valentine. He does this program around love, so to speak, for these young people, and they essentially are learning a lot from him, and he's been committed to. We'll show you a lot of things that he's done. So we're going to start with him. While Yetunde will join us soon, and we're just going to ask you, what is your backstory? Why did you decide to take this journey? Right? There are so many ways, so many skills you have. You're doing something with business, and your wife is there. You're raising a family. You're in church. Why did you decide to? And you're focusing on a set of people who can't pay you. Let me just put it that way, as a life coach. So, what made you get into this? Please tell us the backstory.
Thank you very much. That is the word. You are into something that doesn't pay really, and thank you so much. Well, I grew up as on a very hard ground, the hard way. I lost my both parents when I was in primary. My mother, uh, primary five, and my dad, primary six. And since then, life has been so tough. So I went through life the hard way, managed to get through SHS, and didn't get what I wanted to do, but I went through the school and then went to Accra Technical University. Then we call it Accra Poly, and then to Gimpa, and then from Gimpa I went to do I went to Trinity to do masters in ministry. I focus on counseling, and then recently with my leadership and governance, masters in leadership and governance. Now, it wasn't smooth as I'm just saying it. It has been rough after losing my parents. I noticed that though I'm very intelligent, very smart, life was so hard that I couldn't do the things I wanted to do. So I look at it and I realize that, well, there could be many young people out there who may be good, but situations may make life so difficult for them. But I realized one thing, that look, the point that you are coming from a poor background or life is so hard at you doesn't mean that you should just take things the way they are. But there are opportunities out there you can have access to. So I noticed that the opportunities are there,
Mm,
but it won't come to you naturally. And so, yes, there are a lot of scholarship. We have opportunity out there, but I noticed that some of these opportunities comes with conditions. So you have scholarship that have been organized for needy but brilliant students, and you have a lot of needy people. But the first criteria they will look at is your qualification, your results, your performance. Now, some of these kids who are so smart, but their conditions are so difficult that they are not even in a position to get some of those grades. So we are in a situations where um, they are good, they are needy, but because of their conditions, they are not able to access certain opportunities. So I realized that no, I went through that. Not that I'm too bad, but conditions put me in a particular corner. So I decided to go into youth development, where I focus on the developing young people to position themselves, add value to themselves so that they can have access to opportunity. So, yes, you are poor, your mother may not have money, but there is no way God will look at you, stay at home when you have 8 A's, you have 6 1s. You will definitely have access to some of those opportunities out there. So I noticed that, well, because of this criteria, you have even parents who can pay their kids
mm,
rather getting access to the opportunities, and we those who rather need it because of some of we are not able to get some of these qualification or criteria. We are not able to get access to those opportunities. So I decided to focus on the fact, look, yes, your parents may not have money, you may be poor, you need it, but look, if only you can position yourself, add value to yourself, get the results, then opportunities are there you can have access to. So youth development is what I do, and I have
mm.
been focusing on the fact that look, add value, become valuable. I mean, develop yourself and then you will change your story. And that has been what we've been doing at the Foundation for Generational Thinkers for all this year. That was what inspired us to come up with the foundation, and we've been working with this for the past 10 years.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I want your audience, if you are here on day one and day two, you will see this theme running through the theme of there is a driver. I experienced something and I don't want others to experience it. And Prosper experienced the loss of his parents, and it has inspired him to create or to at least connect. If he can't create the opportunities, he connects others with them, and particularly young people. And that is what he's doing with Foundation for Generational Thinkers. And if I'm not mistaken, he's been doing it for over 10 years. This year was the 10th year anniversary. It's so timely. So I want to switch to Yetunde. Yetunde, we have given you a grand introduction. When you watch
Ah,
it, when we come back, you will discover we gave you a grand introduction. But not right now. We want to know your backstory. What made you who you are today? How did you get to start My Dream Connect? Just give us that backstory. Yeah. You can start with
okay. Thank you very much.
okay.
Thank you very much, Coach K, for this beautiful opportunity. Once again, happy birthday in advance. I believe it's going to be a wonderful year. You're already waiting the ground for many. Even if what's it called? What you're doing, yeah. We sharing our stories. I'm sure there's someone out there struggling to get started, thinking, can I do it or can I not do it? Listening to some of these stories, of course, would um, what's it called? Encourage them. Yeah, I believe, because I know that when I go for events and I tell my story, I see people saying, "Oh yeah, I've been wanting to do this," and then, "Okay, how did you do it?" So God bless you for that, and yeah, God bless you also for helping us to tell more people about what we do. All right, so my name is Yetunde Macaulay. My Dream Connect, my Dream Connect, my Dream Connect. My Dream Connect didn't start as my Dream Connect in terms of the name, but I got pregnant of my Dream Connect a while ago. Um, so the idea was conceived before I went to Pan African University, and I always like to trace what I'm doing right now or what I've achieved now to a time when an elderly man who would call me young lady. Yeah, we met at a wedding at some point. At the time, I was in Pan African University. Of course, growing up, I wasn't the kind of girl that had that exposure who could talk to anyone about anything. So I kept to myself a lot, but I was doing more of thinking. And while I was in the secondary school, I've always had this, interest or idea, yeah, that I want to support a lot of people in terms of helping them to get some education, sincerely. And I had it. I remember that I was in the classroom one day with my friends. I was in SS2 then, way back. I think that should be before 2000 or something like that. I remember we're in a classroom, three of us, and everybody, we all were sharing what we wanted to do, and that was what I said. And then by the time I finished, I finished my secondary school education. My father, being a teacher, wanted me to also be a teacher, but I never wanted to be a teacher. I think I wanted to be a businesswoman or a lawyer. Yeah, I really would have loved to be a lawyer. But he wanted me to be a teacher so I could have time for my family and da da da. And I'm like, excuse me. So because yeah, in Nigeria we know that civil servants, I think that's just his idea of, oh, be a civil servant, teach
Mm.
so that you have time for, yeah. So I'm like, "Ugh." Anyway, cut the long story short, I did not go to the University of Education, neither did I go to what's this other one, any educational institution in terms of where I would go and study about education. So I studied public administration. And then
Mm.
I did very well in school. I finished, I passed. People loved me because, one, I really wouldn't say the reason why they love me is because they truly like me, but they like me for the fact that Yetunde will always do her assignment. She will always present, and everybody will always want to be in my group because they know that they can go and sleep and do the whole work. So I've been a workaholic since I was so young. And so I like to do my things. So, and fast forward to 2009. Before then, I've had several issues, but I know that fast forward to 2009, God wanted to now put me on that pedestal of, doing what I really want to do. So I found an advert on paper because at the time I was tired of the job I was doing and I wanted something new. And every time for me, whenever I feel tired and I want something new, all I do is I want to go back to school, whether it's just to learn something new, right? To clear my head and then start all over again. I'm like that. So God knew, He saw my heart that I wanted to go there because I was saying, oh God, I would really love to. I don't really want to go and work for somebody else. I want to go and learn maybe one thing that I don't know that is making me struggle in this job.
Mm.
And so I stumbled on Pan African University's advert on paper about learning creative new media. Of course, I already had a background in computing. And so, yeah, not like a background in terms of education, but immediately after secondary school, I had gone to learn how to use the computer. Then it was
Mm.
called desktop publishing. So I'd learned how
Mm.
to use Word, Excel, do even Corel Draw. So when I saw that, I jumped on it. I said, okay, let me even go and learn more and then pursue my career in maybe tech. So I forgot public administration because public administration was making me take job as an admin, take job as a secretary. So I felt like, okay, let me even go and expand. Let me move beyond just this. And so I stumbled upon that program, Samsung Blue Dreams. I say this story a lot and I always say it because I don't think I can say where I've gotten to was just by my own power, and then all the things that I know. Of course, it was God just taking me through that part, and then I got there. So when I saw that, I went for it.
Mm.
And it was my first time in Pan African University when I saw that, and then I went for the interview. When I got there, it was a panel interview, and everybody had been asked, okay, what are you going to do with the skill? And then they had all said, oh, they want to work in the bank. They're going to be, they were mentioning big things. And then for me, I just said I want to. Well, when I'm done, I want to go and use it to help people. And they looked at me like, does she even know what she's saying? So maybe the expectation was,
Say
oh,
that
I want to
again.
work in
You
the
want to go
bank
and
as
visit
this.
something? You want to go and visit what?
Help. I said I
You want
want
to
to
help
help
people.
people with it when I'm
Okay.
done.
Mm.
Yeah. So I said I
Okay.
want, I want whatever I'm doing here, I want to use it to help people. So all the panelists or the interviewers, they were all discouraged about my response about helping people. Then go and look for not tell me to help people. That I want to help people. They are like, why do you want to? I said I want to be able to teach them to be able to do what I am learning.
Mm.
Okay, so they said, okay, um, they were discouraged, but only one. Because even my instructor at the time, I didn't know he was going to be the one to teach me in class. He looked at me like, oh, what the hell is this? Or what the I looked at him, I saw the expression. And I'm like, okay. So I noted everybody. But one man, Mr. Ken, then, he said, okay, yeah, Mr. Kenneth Esele, he said, okay, you know what? I'm going to keep your admission letter, right? And I'll give it to you when you come back and you're able to convince me that I should give it to you. And I said, okay, no problem, sir. And he gave me an appointment. And I came back. I wasn't late. I got there on time. He really didn't ask me somebody, just asked me to promise him that I will not disappoint. I think I remember then. And then I said, yes, I want to do it. And then, do you really want it? I said, yes. And then he gave it to me.
Mm.
So when we got into the classroom, we began. And then my instructor now became that man that really didn't like what I said because it was very, very obvious. And so he saw me in class. While he was teaching in class, I'll be teaching others.
Mm.
He was surprised. And it was my first time of learning, just because I learned very fast. So it was my first time of learning web development. Then I learned web designing. There was this opportunity to learn video editing, graphic designing, and web designing. So now for me, graphics designing, I felt like, oh, I already knew how to do graphics designing. I didn't do video editing because at the time I wasn't really, really knowledgeable about what video editing was. I thought it was filming. So I mixed video editing together with filming. No,
Mm.
not filming, filming, like acting. Yeah,
Mm.
acting. So I really didn't want to. No, I see them, they expose their body. I know. I thought that was what I was going to do, so I didn't choose that.
Mm.
So I went for
All
web
right.
designing. I've never done. And so I began to learn, and I see that, okay, the society had, I've seen a lot of young people who come out of school. And one thing about me is, do you know that since I got into um, 100 level, the university, I started working. So I was juggling it somehow. I was going to
Mm.
school and I was working. So I decided not to go home. So I just told my parents, send my school fees, I'm going to take care of myself. So I felt like, oh yeah. So why do people complain about no job, nothing? They are suffering, they are struggling. It became a problem in my, I see it as a solution, a problem. Yeah, like, oh no, I couldn't stand it. And I said, so I
Mm.
have to do something about it. I must ensure that youth should be able to do things by themselves and for themselves and be able to take care of themselves and their family. And I think
Mhm.
that was what pushed me into doing my Dream Connect, because I know that I also had some challenges while growing up. I didn't have access to mentors really before, a particular period of time when I started having that exposure to
Okay.
mentors. But I really
So,
didn't have
Yetunde,
access.
let me pause you.
Okay, because
Let
I
me
was going to
pause you
say
a bit.
something.
Yeah. Tell us.
So this man asked me a question. Young lady, so what are your aspirations? So I really didn't know how to answer. I was lost, I was confused. But this man realized, he saw it on me that, oh, I didn't know how to put my thoughts together. And so he said, okay, he handed me his card and he said, put your thoughts together. When you have put your thoughts together, send me an email. That's,
Mm.
I can never forget that. You know, instead of looking down on, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing, he decided to, identify with the fact that I didn't know how to put my thoughts together. He saw it, and I wanted to do that for many also. Like, okay,
Mm.
let me know for a way today. So I went back to this same teacher that didn't like me, and I told him. But of course, the man liked me. It was just because I did not present
Mm.
myself well during the interview that made them not, find me interesting. But when I was now on the field, hands on, they saw that I was much more than what I was even saying. So I felt like, okay, I need to look for a way to bring young people that have dreams to, connect with people that have achieved that can help them, because it was a challenge for me. So I told him that, okay, somebody asked me about this and I didn't know how to answer. So he asked me a question. So now I think he now understood that, okay, maybe I didn't know how to express myself at the time.
To
So he said, what do you want to do?
shaping your
And I
skills.
said,
Yeah,
okay. So
announcing
he
your skills
advised
was
me,
the issue.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So he
Yeah.
advised me, he said, go and start it on Facebook. And that was how I started Dreamers Achievers Connect on Facebook. And I wanted to look for a way to look for one Coach K that will assist one Yetunde Macaulay that is just coming from somewhere that is really not clear about what they want to do. And I started it. That was how I started it. So it wasn't like, oh, it
Mm.
was planned to be my Dream Connect. It was later on along the journey that the name changed from my Dream Connect. That's why you see 10 years. I've just been doing
Mm.
it as a hobby. As far as my Dream Connect
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
is concerned, when it comes to, oh, we register it at less than a year old. Sincerely, we just go register this year as the foundation, because now I've
Okay.
tested it, I've tried it, and I'm like,
Awesome.
okay, we're good to go. Yeah, that's it.
That's a beautiful
Thank you.
one. That's a deep one. The theme of the vision being born as a result of your experience of the dichotomy between I know how to do something and I know how to express my capacity to do something. And that's a very powerful one for those in the audience, those young people. And I've seen this in IT as well. People who are very skilled, but when put in the situation to sell themselves, they have difficulty selling themselves. And today, part of the reason why we're here is to allow Prosper and Yetunde sell themselves to the audience. Sell themselves. So, what I want you to do, if you're in the chat, I'm going to recognize you right now. What I want you to do is to make sure that we have enough people here to see what Prosper and Yetunde are selling. What they are selling is impact to their societies. Prosper is in Ghana, Yetunde is in Nigeria, but it is the same passion-driven impact that is going on here. And I earlier showed those who came early, I showed you my box of books, the first consignment. We're going to unbox it tomorrow. And I'm giving away books to those who will support the work of these great people. And what is the work? That's what we're going to go into now. We're going to talk about what they are doing, and I'm going to ask it in a very special way. Coming back to Prosper, I'm going to show a series of photos, and Prosper is going to relive the experience to us, relive the experience of what he was doing in those photos. But first of all, I want to appreciate those who are active in the comments. Boko Ishmael Edem says, this is really going to be interesting, educative. Thank you. Thank you for that. And Japheth says, amazing. Felix P.K. Aqua says, foundation of generational thinkers. And Felix Achube says, I can only imagine this networking. That's the African network that I talked about. There's a name that we call Chief Felix Achube. I wanted to mention it here, but I said there are children in the house. Let me just leave it like that.
More fire, more fire.
Yeah. Prosper has exposed him. Apeti Joseph Doji is also saying foundation for generational thinkers is actually transforming lives. Where are the Nigerians? The Ghanaians are here. Boko Ishmael Edem says a proud ambassador of Foundation for Generational Thinkers. Edward Tete, deep inspiration. Yes, That's part of the job. That's part of the goal, to inspire you to find your purpose and pursue it as well. Nuruddin, who we interviewed yesterday, you should watch that interview. We interviewed him yesterday. He says, wow, 10 years, that's some consistency. And he's been on with his vision for about 4 years, to going strong, doing more. He just built a library at Wupe. I keep missing the pronunciation. Doris Kobler says, God bless you, sir. So many people impacted. Doris, FOGET. And Edward Tete says, honored to stand with you as ambassador of Foundation for Generation Thinkers. And let me pause here. Yesterday we talked about what wealth is, and we talked about a certain richest man in Nigeria in the 80s who had packed 20 plus cars in his house. He's long dead, packed 20 plus cars, built a house, nobody's living there, and the thing is decaying. We talked about entropy. You see, all the people commenting in this chat right now are part of Prosper Afechi's wealth. That is real wealth. Wealth that does not decay. It's a legacy. It's relationships. It doesn't decay. It doesn't decay like a car. It doesn't get stolen like money in your bank. It doesn't get, you don't get, relieved of it by the government. The government can't take it away from you. We've seen whole bank networks taken away from someone. But this is wealth that nobody can take away from Prosper Afechi. That is what's going on here. So you see them saying, this is the impact. Japheth says, FOGET, God is in control. We have Victoria Piayeku. I hope I got that. Congratulations, FOGET. 10 years journey is not easy. Keep pushing. Princess Ohene has said, yeah. Bernard again, Bentum, Charity, and Sir William Odoy. So this is an aggregation of wealth, the relationships formed, the impact made, and we want to back this. I know if you're in the audience and you're watching this either now or else another time, I know you've accumulated wealth. You have money in your bank account, in your Momo account. You have nice hats like myself, nice clothes, etc. But there's another kind of wealth, and we want you to tap into that through supporting the work that is being done by Prosper and Yetunde in their own corners. You see, they're not necessarily the most famous people. Maybe Elon Musk doesn't know them. Maybe Bill Gates doesn't know them. But some people are benefiting from their influence. And we want you to make it happen for more people. Bezra Ima says, 10 years of impact. I'm proud to be part of this initiative. Thank you very much. And thank you to all of you who are in the audience. Please tag someone, invite someone to this. I'm going to do something right now. I'm going to ask Dan to relive some memories, right? And tell us what was going on there, because it's a way of communicating to the audience what you've been doing. I'm going to ask you to relive some memories. So I'm going to just put up a few photos and we will relive some memories that you have shared with us earlier. So tell us a little bit about what was happening here.
Okay, yeah. These are young people that the foundation has recruited to serve as ambassadors, and we decided to start a conference we used to call My Identity Conference, where we meet only ladies and deal with specific issues that relate to their gender. So we have guys meeting and then ladies also meeting. So this is, I think, the first edition. This is the second edition of the ladies My Identity Conference. So I think during that they just closed. We're sitting down. Some people are taking books. We shared these purpose-driven books to each and every one of them. So you go and then pick one. Yeah. So
awesome. So what's the average age of the children here? Average age?
Average age will be in their teens. I mean,
yeah, they're in their teens. I see people they look like 13, 14, 15,
yes,
correct?
Yes. 13, 14.
Awesome. Okay, so what's happening here? There's a little bit of action going on here. What's going on here?
Okay, so we started our empowerment programs. We started reaching out to the young people when we decided to get to where they are. So we started going to schools to organize seminars and summits for them. Originally, that's how we started. It's along the way that I noticed that a one-day seminar does not really transform lives. So you meet people one day, have a seminar with them. The next time you are meeting them, maybe they are gone. If they are in secondary school, you by the time you come back, they are gone. So initially, we used to go around having those large crowd seminars before we decided that no, this we are not getting the result that we wanted. So we decided to come up with the ambassadors where we recruit them and then this work with them on daily basis. We engage them. We actually the life coaching, personal development kind of thing. So this was the early stage of the foundation. This is 2017 at Volta region, Afiadanigba Senior High. Yes, so that
Wow.
is the place we had that particular meeting. Yes, so we call it Youth Empowerment Summit. Then that was the name. So we go around schools. I think the same
About how
year
many
we were,
schools have you been to like this?
well, secondary school, we've been to about 15 of them, different
Mm,
schools. Some of them we've been there on multiple times. We've been to
mm,
Insaom, we've been to Abri Girls, we've been to the Accra schools, a lot of them, and then Volta schools, we've been to a couple of them. And yes, for the basic school, we have a huge, large number of them. Normally, we bring them together from different schools to a particular location, like a church.
mm,
We
mhm,
could have a large gathering. Those early days, about 1,500
mm,
crowd, you know, have talking to them. But I have noticed that it's not about just a one-day seminar talking to crowd. You may get few people listening to you or even getting what you want, but
mm,
we want people to transform, and the transformation we want is not only about engaging them in a day.
mm,
So we decided to be having that consistency in working with them, and that's what gave birth to the ambassadorship. And for the past 10 years, we've been able to engage over 100 ambassadors. Currently, we are having 70 active ambassadors with us,
mm,
uh, who serves as people we going through training. Normally, we recruit them at junior high, and we work with you till you finish university. So we have about 40 of them currently in the various university across the country. Almost all university around Ghana, we have an ambassador in those schools. And then we have about 30 plus in various secondary schools who are also ambassadors. So we pick you from JHS, and then you decided to grow with you until you get to that stage where we can now see that you are able to make positive influence. You are becoming an agent of change, and then you have a lot of options in life, and then we guide you to take the best option.
wow. This is like long-term transformation. So I want you to paint a picture for us. You've seen some of you in the audience. You've seen the crowds. I want you to guess the number of people, the number of students. I've dropped the picture now. Guess the number of students you saw in those pictures, and I want Prosper to paint a picture. In the next 15 years, based on what you're doing now, can you estimate the number of, let's say, 30-year-olds that will know you in Ghana?
Well, I believe with the replica effect
Yeah.
and all that we are doing, we may have people close to 10,000, 50,000 young
Awesome.
people knowing me, because uh, we still do the crowd seminars. We still go
Mm,
around doing that. And now we are having ambassadors who are also becoming leaders, mentoring others, also going
mm,
to schools to talk to, So we are developing school clubs into the junior high schools where we are having young people. We have these ambassadors in the university. Some of them are organizing programs, and they're inviting me to come and engage their colleagues. We are having a lot of impact on student leadership. We have a program called Student Leadership where we engage all young leaders, class captains, office compound prefects. We have a summit for them. And sometimes schools I cannot go, we have these ambassadors doing that in the other part of the country. So I believe replica effect, we will have engage a lot of young people in the coming 30 years. And we really want to do a lot of that.
That's
We
amazing.
want
You
to
see,
do a lot of
exactly. And the reason I asked that question is that Prosper and Yetunde are accumulating a different kind of wealth. You can accumulate a wealth that we will come and show a video of your house with 20 cars after you are dead and gone. You can also accumulate a different kind of wealth where your wealth is in people you've invested in. That kind of wealth, nothing can take it away. And I want to encourage you, if you're in the audience, I want you to connect to this. Connect with Prosper on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, and find out how you can help. Connect today by making a donation. His mobile number is there. And I'm giving you a book because you're donating. I'm sending you a book. Connect to Yetunde if you're in Nigeria. I'm sending you a book, right? If you're making that donation. So we're going to flip to Yetunde, and I'm going to show a short video. And I would just want Yetunde to relax, watch the movie for a bit. Then she will come back to tell us what is going on there. I'm just going to open it up in a minute or two. All right. Sorry, I had closed. Did I close that? No, I didn't close that. Now, what you're about to see is a short clip from the historical past.
But we come and tell me that something exciting happens and then you're going to narrate the story to us. Who's able to do that? We go. I like bold key. Bold key time should be very excellent if they are properly guided. So I want to see that boldness here.
I hope you can hear the sound. Please confirm. Can you hear the sound? Okay.
So when you get there, you tell us today and then you narrate the story. Thank you. Please give her a round of applause.
So first of all, where is this?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Where is this?
Okay. So it's somewhere called, this is Ikpaja. Yeah, I think, yeah, this was Ikpaja, not Barowa. So when we went to this community to actually support the underprivileged children back to school. So, I think it was in 2021 to 22 that I thought about it, and I'm like, why should, sometimes I see children walk to school with their shoes and uniforms turned, and I'm like, okay, what kind of education are these ones going to be, having? I've actually experienced how public schools look like in Nigeria. I've actually been there, and you see children jam-packed, and I always feel for them. In fact, for me, I would say I'm not sure I can really, really, teach there, except, I've had opportunities where I've been invited to teach. What I do is I take them from the classroom, carry your chair, we're going under a tree, a big tree where there is breeze so that you can learn. So in 2022, I thought about it and I said, okay, how many, because I've heard some parents who would say, oh, cost of school books and all of this. Education is becoming very, very expensive, especially in Nigeria. And I felt like, okay, what do we do? How about we go into the community, and look for children. Now, You know, in Nigeria, if you say you are giving palliative or giving anything, you see a lot of people. So for us, we decided that we're going to go there ourselves. Initially, would do that after every code camp program that we have. We tell our students to bring anyone that they would love to help, and then we'll hand them the book. But we now changed it, and this was just last year, not an old thing. It was just last year. Now decided to go into the community. Let's go and meet them where they are. Because they will not, this ones, if we say they should come, where I live, they will not, they don't live there. You know, I live in an estate. So I said, no, I'm not going to do it whether, yeah, I'm not going to go to a place where I know someone who will do that for us, but that we will go into the community, meet with the community chiefs, and that's what we did. So we went into the community, met with the community chief and then the leaders, and told them, identify children who have that need. It's not an NGO where we have funding. In fact, at the time, it was just an ISR for me, individual social responsibility. My dream project has been an individual social responsibility for a long year, a long number of years rather, until we just registered this year, March. So I've just been doing it like, no. So sometimes, oh, I really don't go raise funds. So I said, we're going to go into the community, find those children that have the real needs, because we're not going to give palliative where people pick back the books, keep for their unborn children. I said, no, I don't want that. We'll go there, find them, give it to them, let them go to school. Some of them will end up becoming presidents in this country, becoming counselors. They're not going to treat people right because they are hurting. Yeah, a lot of people are doing that. It's because they hurt. By the time they get there, they steal all the money and then make sure that other people, yeah, you know, we see it as, they see governance in Nigeria as national cake. And so you see people going to get their own share. So we said, let's go into the community and change the minds of these children. And so we went there, we played games with them, we supported them, we gave them the books, we asked them how did they feel in school and all of that. And they were so happy and they really would love us to really come back. Of course, it's been so challenging to go back to the same community. So we told them that we'll come back and that we're going to, because there's a program that I launched some years back, Smart Leaders Club. So we thought about taking it to this community so that we can train them and help them to, you know, support them to become smart children in the right way, not smart in the other way, as you know, people would do smart in hand. So be smart, know that you should support others. Because you know one thing about this project, I remember when we got into the community, you know, people were asking us, sorry, what's the party that you're coming from? Oh yeah, is it APC? Is it? I said no. So in this country, do you now believe that an individual cannot look at people and say, oh, they want to help? So when you do things like this in Nigeria, people either think, oh, you're coming from a church, or maybe you're coming under a party umbrella to come and, so you know, we got all of that, and I'm like, I laughed and I smiled that we still have a very long way to go. So that's this was just last year. Yeah. It's a larger community.
I think this one is a way, right? When you're used to the energy, you understand. So you are.
All right. So I think one of the key themes here is also meeting people where they are. Prosper was going to the secondary schools one after the other. 15. Now he's entering the universities with ambassadors, right? And Yetunde is also going to the villages where people really need help, right? Really need help. And she's engaging with traditional rulers to find out where the needs are. And yesterday, when we on day one, we talked about the mission that Heather Beam engaged in by leaving her comfort in the US to come to Ghana. The same way, Prosper leaves his comfort in Accra to go to the hinterlands, to the schools. Yetunde leaves her comfort in Lagos mainland to go to the villages. This is the heart of a missionary, if I may say so. Finding a problem and addressing it. And many of us may not be able to do that for so many reasons. but we can make it happen with backing, with sponsorship, with with focused backing, with volunteering, with expertise, with connections. There are so many ways you can contribute. So many ways. Yesterday, even Wahab Lati told us about sanitary pads, told us about old computers. So the thing there, and we learned about the difference between giving and sharing. When you're hearing my voice, you say, as for me, my salary is only 500 cedis, so 50,000 naira. Who am I? But the difference between sharing and giving. Giving is, this is my spare. Take. Sharing is, that is my heart. Let's split it in two. So I am speaking to your heart now. I'm not speaking to your bank account. I'm speaking to your heart, asking you, what can you share? Not what can you give, but what are you able to share? And I'm sharing something with you, a hard copy of my book, one of my books, once you choose them. There's a question from Nuruddin Latte. He asked the question, Prosper, can you tell us how many students you usually have at seminars? And we got a response from Enoch Ajay, Nuruddin Wahab. With junior high schools, we reach average of 1,000 to 1,500 with SHS 500 plus students every outreach. That's amazing. That is impressive. That is powerful. Japheth says the transformation we want begins from the mindset of the young ones.
Once, yeah.
Mr. Prosper Apechi, another powerful quote. So he just basically, quoted what Prosper said earlier. Benedicta says, more grace, ma, to do this work. More grace to do this work. Let's look at another very short video, and then we'll also move on from there. Let's look at another very short video. Let me just open it up, and we see that. Yeah, short one. So what is happening here?
Okay. Okay, it was when we gave them the books. So the pack is, so now if you look at it, I'm sure we have two different packs. So for
Hmm.
some, we give them this pack. And the reason why we put it in the pack is even if you don't have a bag, don't say you don't have a bag, this can protect your book. So we don't
Hmm.
yet have, because I will tell people I don't yet have the money to buy bags. If I have an organization or anybody willing to say, okay, today I'll buy bags, put them in, we are okay. In fact, the first one we did, we didn't put it in this rubber pack. It was in the nylon. So this one is first in that same nylon that packs the books. It's a two-in-one exercise book. We gave them 6 each. That makes 12 exercise books per student. So it has a divider. You can use it for 2 subjects. So they get 12. And then they get rulers, they get biros, they get erasers, they get sharpeners, they get pencils. Those are the basic things that they need. So if you now have need for textbook, maybe you can write us or reach us, and then the ones that I can get, I don't tell them, oh, we can do all, no, but the ones that, but at least what you need to use to write, you must have everything. So put it in that bag so that you will take it to school. Don't say you don't have a bag. So we stopped doing just nylon. We now bought that. And then there's another one that has a pack. That one we decided to give, okay, maybe some brilliant students that, they are doing very well, because we wanted to find out, okay, what did you score in maths? Okay, so we give them that that small nylon rubber bag too, but a little bit better than this. It was quite expensive then. When I looked at my budget, I said, no, I'm not sure I can afford this now, but let's buy for
Hmm.
some, and then let's use the other one for others. At least this rubber can wrap it, even if it's when it's raining, your book is secured and all of that. And so that's why we bought that. But of course, if there are people who says, okay, yes, we want to work with you, and they will buy the bag, we can do that together. So
Hmm.
that's what we gave it to them. And then I wanted them to make a commitment that they are going to study, they are going to be good children and change their community. If you look at the background, you will see what their background looks like. Some parents were very happy. In fact, if you listen to the background, you will hear some parents saying, let me go and call my child. When we got there initially, they didn't really trust. You will see that the number began to increase after a while. They were like, where are they
Hmm.
coming from? Are they politicians? Are they coming to give us? So, but of course, do you know that that canopy, myself and my guys, and my ladies, we were about 5 from me that went there. We set it up. And the children just came, they were setting it up, everybody in the community. So we didn't have to say, oh, we must spend. Sometimes you don't need millions. So we're not going to go to a hotel to go and do that. It costs money. It was in that community that we said, okay, where can we rent? We got there. We already expected that by the time we get there, they would have set up something like that. They didn't do it. They said they didn't have money. We had to pay them. We had go and buy. They brought it. All the children, they began to carry one by one. We erected that canopy. We arranged the chairs. We took our speakers and the microphone, everything. We took it there. And then we set up. And we started, and everybody had fun. And so for me, I don't think you need to have millions or billions of naira to do good. And so I felt like, okay, let's do it. At least we don't know who amongst these children will be in a place of leadership tomorrow. And they need to remember that it pays to do good. Your leadership position is not for you to hurt or harm your country or people, or but to empower people. Let me put it that way. So because we have a lot of that in Nigeria, I'm sorry, yeah, I'm a Nigerian and I see us do that a lot, because you're powerful now, palliative, just to get people's wings and all of that. I really don't think that's how it should be. We should think more of how development comes into our community through the people that we're supporting, and that's why we do it, and the things that we do for young adults as well. We work with teenagers, we work with youths, and we work with women. That's just one part of the work that we do, right? So that's just one of the parts. Teams are just, I just felt when we started with teams, we just wanted to change, the basic knowledge, the background knowledge is very, very important. Just like Mr. Prosper would do. That's how I started. I stopped at some point. I would go to secondary schools. I have some of them that would, in fact, I have a lady, girls letter, who said, oh, I love the way you taught us today. Are you going to come back? Every time I see that letter, I just laugh. That if you're going to come back, please come back tomorrow. And I'm like, so in their classroom, they don't get teachers to teach them like that. That's the truth. I've been to public school. I said when I was in the university, I was working. I've worked with a media station before. And what? Thankfully, I like what you did. You see that game that you're seeing behind me. That's where we started from. We wanted to teach leadership, and so I have 3 games that we take to the community to teach them. We use chess to teach them leadership. We use Monopoly to teach them money management, and then we use Scrabble to teach them communication. That's what we're doing, and so.
Wow.
Did that, we'll go to school. Then we're always going to school. Then I didn't have an office, I was working from home. So we'll go to school and then we'll gather them. The school would welcome us. They put them all in a room. That's in their big hall. And we just want them to have fun. Life is not that hard. Just have fun while you're learning. Then we tell them these games should teach you life skills. So that's where the life skills training started from. So we used games to teach life skills, and we asked them questions. Yeah.
Awesome. Beautiful. Yetunde, and I know there's a lot you're doing, and I want to invite you to use the comments to tell us how we can connect with you on LinkedIn, Facebook. Just put your URL in the comments there. The same thing with Prosper, just put it in the comments, because we want to know more about what you're doing. And I want to thank Nuruddin. He has pledged 50 exercise books on behalf of TNF. Nuruddin is in Ghana, sadly, so the pledge is so he has pledged 50 exercise
books. There's always a way out. Yeah, there's always a way out.
But there could be a way out to get to Nigeria as well. So we can discuss that.
In Nigeria, if I want to, like, my brother asked me to help him buy a computer, and I was struggling and thinking of how to get it in. He said, why not send it through a bus? And I'll go and like, oh, really? Yeah, I forgot. So there's always a way out.
It's possible. So let's see how that works out.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to come back to Yetunde to talk to us about the hackathon in November specifically, and the life skills you're doing that will lead up to the hackathon. I'm going to show you. You're going to talk about it, and we're going to back you on that. But let me turn to Prosper again, and I'll ask Prosper, what are you doing now that we can focus on and support you in, and what do you think the outcome, the impact will be on that project? So you have the floor now. Yeah, unmute, please.
Sorry.
Okay, go
Yes.
ahead.
So we are doing a lot of things, but basically they are all focused on personal development. One of our focus this particular time is our school club, the life coaching and mentorship in the various junior highs, because we believe in catch them young and they shall
Mm,
be yours forever. So the school club is where we are focusing on to mentor young people, coach them from that level. Um, Once we get them from there, they'll be able to join the ambassadors, where we have we continue with the mentorship and coaching with them. We have a boot camp coming up for all ambassadors, which I would love a support in that direction. We take them out at least for a week long boot camp. Uh, we are all gathered at one place. We call it identity, where
mm,
people discover who they are and why they are here. And we try to help them to paint the mental picture of uh, who they want to be and all that. So that camp is coming up in November, and from second week in November, we're going to be at a Brie. We bring everybody in
mm,
house, and then we make sure that we are all together at one place, one
mm,
mind. We are learning the same thing. Nobody is going anywhere, and I
mm,
guarantee there's a lot of transformation coming out of that camp. It's a one-time experience that we give to some of these young people. Many
mm,
of them have testified that uh, like their life have changed, and
mhm,
if it hadn't been for FOGET, they wouldn't be uh, they wouldn't thought of being at a place like this. So we do it every year, and it's coming up this November. But our focus for now is our school clubs, where we
mm.
would love to get support from.
Awesome,
And
awesome. Great.
also to this our work of uh, pers- personal development is something that sometimes is not how do you call it, you can't quantify it. you know
Mm,
we have people, we are dealing with a whole lot of issue, and we are working with people through life, you know. So normally, basically, I always say that, look, if you believe in transforming lives, you believe in the young people are the future leaders, because the young man you are seeing around is the next pastor in the community, the
mm,
next doctor. What kind of doctor will he or she become? So we want to be intentional in raising them, and it's cost, and you have a lot of things to do whilst grooming people. So we
mm,
always appeal for partnership. We believe in raising the young people, partner with us. You could be in their education, you could be in helping um, transform their life, develop their skills, get a book for them to read, and all other aspects to make sure we are holistic,
mm.
in their personal development. So, um,
Okay, great. So let me ask you about how much is this next boot camp going to cost you?
well, the last time we were
The last
there,
time, yeah. Hmm.
we spent about 70,000 roughly Ghana cedis,
That's
and
70,000 Ghana
yes,
cedis. Yeah.
yes, this year hopefully it's going to go up a little bit.
Mm.
So we are hoping that we will be able to take them there once again.
That's about $10,000. So if 10,000 people give $1, that conference is settled. $1
Exactly.
is 12 cities. So if you have access to 12 cities, it's the beginning of the success of this program. If you're in the audience, 10,000 people, $1 will cover this budget. $1 is 12 cities. $1 is 1,700 naira thereabout. So that's what support looks like. And I give you a book as a reward. That's what support looks like. It's very simple. And yesterday I talked about the fact that we have been doing crowdfunding in Africa before the platforms came up. And if, like Prosper said, if you believe in transformation, put your money where your mouth is. You've been complaining about government. It is the people that we are raising that are entering government. Yetunde said it earlier that hurting people hurt people. Hurting people hurt people, and we put it out there. Which means if we are raising a generation of people that have been battered, beaten, bolstered by life, when they get in there, the first opportunity they get, they're hurting people. When Ben Murray Bruce used to talk about common sense, these days he has other topics. But when he used to talk about common sense, he made a statement. He said, when we live in Ikoyi, for those in Lagos, Ikoyi is a highbrow area. We build our high walls. We think we have protected ourselves from the hoodlums. But you see, our children will grow up and meet those hoodlums. Those hoodlums, at some point, they come out, they find our houses. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. What society are we building? And the likes of Prosper and Yetunde are working hard to build a society that we can be proud of when we're elderly, that we can feel safe in. And yesterday we talked about the fact that sometimes it's easier to escape the problem. But wherever we escape to, if we decide to be useless to the advancement of the society, society decays because entropy is a natural path of the universe. It's like climbing a slippery rope. If you're not climbing upward, you're slipping down. It's as simple as that. So people inject energy into the society, like what Prosper is doing with FOGET, what Yetunde is doing with My Dream Connect, to trigger certain outcomes in society that are more positive than otherwise. Let me show one more video before I turn back to Yetunde to talk to us about the hackathon. I like this one. That's why I'm really showing it day one. So
10 years ago, I carried a burden in my heart. I look around and saw many young people with potential, yet unsure of themselves, uncertain of their future, and silent when their voices mattered the most. I knew something had to be done. This is how Forget was born. Not out of plaint, but out of a burning passion to raise a generation of thinkers and not just followers. We started with just a few young people, simple conversations, and bold dreams. What began as a seed has today grown into a tree. And that tree is what we call the foundation for traditional thinking.
absolutely lovely. Prosper is accumulating a different kind of wealth. I know you have 100,000 in your bank account and you feel proud of yourself, but this kind of wealth, no bank closure can take it away. Right? No bank close. You know, banks close. Some of you're not aware that a new government can come and flatten a bank, and then you start looking for your money. Some things decay in this world, but some things cannot decay. So I want to encourage you to connect with this, connect with Prosper, sponsor this. And let me quickly turn back to Yetunde and ask you to talk to us about this project, the hackathon coming up. First of all, just hint us very quickly around the ongoing program, life skills program that you do, the boot camp, and then you talk to us about this event coming up in November. Yetunde.
Okay, thank you very much. So the boot camp started last year, yeah, and we're running cohort 4 now. So far we've had over 1,000 applicants, right? And we have graduated 3 sets. We've had 2 graduations, and we had another set, yeah, just had their certificate because they couldn't provide or produce a project to sign out. So Tech Boot Camp was born out of the need to support. So now my Dream Connect, like I was saying earlier on, it was a rough journey for me and as well, and it was a tough one to eventually arrive at this destination that we're now taking. We're now on right now. When it started, because I love life, I love life coaching. I love to change the mindset of people. I want to support. So I was doing multiple things. I was doing tech, and then it felt like, oh, people didn't know where I was. So I needed to marry all of these things together. At some point, I stopped supporting youth. Yeah, for a very long time, I would focus on teenagers. So if you look at it for a while, I began to, because I looked at the fact that when we want to support our youth, we need a lot of money. They want to ask you for, they tell you, no, there is nothing you can tell them. What they needed then at the time was money, money, money. Until last year, when God gave me the idea for them, and then we went back. So you would see me doing youth empowerment on other people's platform, and in terms of young adults, yeah. So invite me, I'll speak to them and all. But I wanted to like cater for the teens, the younger ones, the pre-teens, change their mindset, help them to manage, preserve their mind so that it's going in the right order. I didn't want them to become like the adults that would say, "Oh, money." So if you ask them to do anything, in Yoruba they will say "Kilobade," what's in it for me? If there is no money in it, what I'm looking for is job. And when you ask them what kind of job you're looking for, any kind of job, I'm like, no, 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 we need to stop this. And then so with the advent of tech, and I'm like, okay, tech is really, for me, I was never a science student, but now I'm in tech, I build websites, I do all of that. So I felt like, okay, let's start teaching youth that are interested in tech, right? Let's start teaching them how to do it now, to use tech to better their lives. So we thought about it. I sat down and I said, okay, we have pixels, we have programs. Some are struggling in the area of programs instead of staying in pixels because they want to take context. Okay, there's a background noise. So we thought about it and
Sorry.
then we started bootcamp last year, and we felt let's teach them the basic one that they can start with. So you don't have to go deep, deep, deep into coding. So we had data analysis, digital media marketing, UI UX, product design, and programming. So whichever one you're interested in, go in and then we'll teach you how to. So I began to talk to my friends, talk to people who could help teach, and then I'll be supporting them to ensure that. So we thought about it and then we said, okay, instead of just teaching them tech skills, some of these our youth have, you know, some of them have issues with character management. So we thought life skills is important. You can be very good, you can be an excellent, technician, but when it comes to life skills, you're not doing well. And you can get sacked for that. No matter how, beautiful or skillful you think you are. It's possible you irritate your boss or you irritate a client by not knowing how to talk or by not knowing when not to talk and all of that. So I sat down and I created, a schedule that's for the life skills, and every morning they come into the classroom for life. So the essence of that life skills is to at least whet their mind and help them to think right before they know that, before going into the tech classroom in the evening to learn hands-on. And so now, Fortified Summit, what led to the birth of it is, this year I clocked 40, and also this year we registered my Dream Connect as a foundation. And so I said, okay, you know what, we're going to properly announce my Dream Connect as a foundation, because it's not so easy trying to look for funds and all of that. I don't have to tell people, oh, I'm going through a lot. I'm like, okay, we make it a community. Let's announce it properly. Let's tell people that it's now an incorporated trustee and that you can come on board and work with us, support us, collaborate with us, do your project with us. And that's what gave birth to the Fortified Summit. And then we thought that, okay, for youths that are already in tech, the ones that we have trained, right, and the ones that have ideas in the areas of education, business, and then workforce development, for any nation or any community, right, to be what we want it to be. Of all communities have their problems, but we need to start looking for solutions to solve the problem. So we thought that, okay, for you that have it, because I really didn't have that. I felt like, okay, we put some money into, their projects, and I said, okay, let's have the hackathon, and then I will now go to get money to help them jumpstart or kickstart
Yeah.
their project. So what they are going to be doing is a 24 hours challenge from 28th of November to 29. They are going to be in a room. In fact, today we just sorted out the room. We're there today, yeah,
Okay.
because I was rushing back there. So we're going to be. We eventually collaborated with Unilag. We're going to be using their AI lab. Now we're now going to be using another lab for the main presentation. So when they're done with the hackathon challenge, designing their product, that's their MVP, they're going to bring it into the other room where they're going to pitch it to funders, people who can fund that project, and then they should start creating opportunities for others instead of waiting, right, to finish from school, or instead of them waiting to get jobs that don't exist. Why not start creating it now, and so in future? So we are willing to support. I'm willing to put in some money, and I want to encourage others to also please put in some money so that we can support them, so that they can build these systems that can help us solve some more problems in Nigeria.
All right, awesome. There's a lot going on, a lot going on, and let's connect with Yetunde. So many ways to connect with Yetunde, if you will. I'd like you to reach out to him. Now we are good. We have to close in about 3 minutes, but I want to turn to Prosper, and I want you to spend about a minute or two talking to us about this flyer that I'm going to show very soon. And I want you to remember, you can reach Prosper on this number. Just capture it in the comments right now. Capture it in the comments right now. So this, tell us about this a bit before we close out.
Okay, so this is what we want to give an opportunity to everyone who believe in youth development to come on board, so that we can reach out to our young people. We believe in raising life, not just structures. We have a lot of people, as we go through life, we are just interested in um, structures, physical buildings, and other things. But your one city, two city can go a long way to help transform lives. So we are calling for donation. So you could see, say, imagine a nation in which every single youth is part of the solution to solve the most challenging problem that face our country. And how is that going to happen? Through your one city donation. So you can partner with us, be part of it, and then your money can go a long way. I believe we all will not be at the same place, or we cannot do it all. But there are places you cannot go that your money can go. There are things you might not be able to do where you are standing, but your money can help someone get there. So that is the appeal, that if you are out there, you believe in the work that we are doing, believe transformation or transforming the young people is a way to go, then help us in this developmental agenda.
Beautiful. That's beautifully delivered, and that's Prosper's number in the chat. All right. So Nuruddin has just captured the vision with this conversation. I remember what we've been doing for the past 3 days, 2 days left. Tomorrow I'm going to unbox the books I have prepared, some of the books I prepared to give. It's here tomorrow morning. The grace of God, 8 a.m. Join us. That's another huge conversation. But one of the things I've been trying to do is to make sure that our friends who are doing this amazing work in different areas are not left hanging. And I want to encourage you to connect with them, support, right? Support this. Make sure this is happening for them and happening for those in your society. Now, I want to emphasize that, right? And go back to this slide. and just talk about the fact that these are those who are being supported, and you want to make that connection. Nuruddin has said maybe we can do a joint project of all 5 NGOs, because he's seen the connection, the threads, the backstory, the passion, the sense of purpose, the kind of wealth that we're accumulating that is just beyond the regular thing that everybody else is pursuing. So I want to encourage you, get on this road, get on this trip. We're going to be here for another 2 days, and we're going to be talking about a few other topics. And I'm going to recap some of the things we've learned tomorrow. I'm going to recap what we've seen in the past 2 days. I probably be in the studio, maybe 1 or 2 friends. I'm going to do a lot of recap, you know, and do that and share it here. So be here, and I'm going to unbox my books and show you physically that the books are real, you know. All right. The books are real. So if you want to, you know, participate in getting your own book, don't miss it. Don't miss this opportunity. You can look at this URL, fill it up, and then get your copy of a book of your choice. Get your copy of a book of your choice in Ghana, in Nigeria, in the UK, in the US, and so forth. Get your copy. So we're going to close out now, and I'll just ask Yetunde and Prosper to make 2 sentences to close out today's session. 2 sentences only, right? So Yetunde, ladies first. You're muted.
Me, right?
Yeah.
Am I going first?
2 sentences.
Okay, so I'm having. So number 1, I would like to actually make a comment about the link that you shared, so that it's easy for people to capture. You see that now, as you see that we bit.here, that short URL that would help people to remember it, so that, because that I know that some people, some persons will actually miss out on. So if you can create a short link to help people connect, that would be a good one. All right, so
say that again, please. Please say that louder again.
A short link, a short URL, like bit.ly. You know, go to the bit.ly website, create an account, and you can have something like this. And you can even track how many people clicked per time.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, bit.ly. Okay, you're sharing that knowledge. That's bit.ly. That's the that's the normal bit.ly. And there are so many URL shorteners. That's what we call them. URL shorteners. You can do that. If you have a paid account, you can actually, you know, create your custom short link if you want. Yeah. Otherwise, great. All right. Then
okay, sorry.
Yeah, so is that those are your 2 sentences, or you have another 2?
Oh, that one is just
all right. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me see, let me try. Okay, so I think you know, life is so short, right? So no matter how long you think in your head that you're going to live, I think you have to put in your best, and always go around thinking about giving more than taking. I see a lot of people interested more in taking. Now, giving does not mean, oh, you must always give money. It could mean your time. It could mean even your nice words. Think about it. So learn to give, so that everything is not about you getting and getting and getting. And so whatever you give, it always come back multiplied. I'm sorry, I want to just share one testimony, please. Which came, you know, when we started the back to school, I had gotten a client, you know, I counted on the fact that this client, the opportunity would help me to even launch the back to school properly. And as God will have it, you know, Niger Factor happened. And they collected the job, not because the American company, the American team wanted to collect it, but at the time, my Niger people, they were arguing on how to share profit with them, and I couldn't really support what they were trying to do. And so they took me out, And I had prepared, I had already started announcing since the beginning of the year that we're going to get people back to school. But you know, when I was a bit worried, like, God, how do I do this? You know what I heard? We had planned to support 100, just 100. And the Spirit told me, double it. I was like, excuse me, I heard that. Did you know we doubled it? Really? And he did it. How it happened, God just made it happen. So when you have a heart to give, God is the seed sower. He will sow enough seed and so that you can have seeds to multiply. God bless
Okay.
you all. And God bless you, Coach K, for putting this together. I
Thank
really
you so
appreciate
much.
it.
All right, you just promoted Prosper to 5 sentences, so please, please take your 5 sentences. All right.
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, I would like to say to all of us that the youth are the future leaders of our various continents, especially Africa. And you know, we shouldn't make that just a slogan. We have to be mindful of how they are growing, what kind of person they are growing to, leaders they are growing to become. So, just as improvement is not natural, they are not going to grow naturally to become good leaders. We have to be intentional about growing them. We have to be intentional about the kind of people they are growing to become. So, let's invest in them because it's not going to come naturally. And that is something I'll urge all of us to do. And to the young people, I want them to understand that we will not have options in life if we don't make ourselves valuable. If we will not have options if we don't make ourselves valuable. So let's invest trying to position ourselves so that we can have options in life. Thank you so
Beautiful.
much, Mr. Ken, for this
Yeah.
opportunity, and God bless you
Bless you
for
too.
the good work you are doing, and happy birthday in advance.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I wish somebody had typed those two powerful sayings in the comments. You will not have options until you start making yourself valuable, right? The youth will not become what we want naturally. We must invest in them intentionally for them to become valuable in the future. So if you caught that, type it in the comments. Somebody has to see it and read it. It's such a wise and powerful statement. So I want to appreciate you, so Prosper, my Yetunde, and the awesome work you're doing. I know it's growing bigger, and we're going to keep looking for ways to support so that it grows bigger and bigger. We're closing out today. We'll be back here in the morning, 8 a.m. I'll be doing the unboxing tomorrow. So even if you have 10 minutes, just log in and watch the unboxing. See what the books look like. It's real. It's not a figment of my imagination. It's not digital only. It's real books. You will touch them. I will open it for you tomorrow. And if you want a copy, you can connect. And tomorrow I'm also going to talk about hard questions around my faith. And I'm going to do a review of the things we've learned in the past 3 days, what we've talked about, and keep pushing for this support that we want to achieve for our partners. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. And I'll close for the external audience. And we'll just have 1 or 2 minutes before we exit the studio.